I'm going to show you how to clean rusty tools. We're going to need a wire brush for the really bad ones. More generally though, we'll use a steel wool, which will be more than adequate. We need some sort of abrasive chemical to actually attack the surface. And then when we finish, we wipe it down with a protective lubricant. We're going to be handling abrasive chemicals, so we need some gloves. Make sure we wear those. And it's a very good idea to put on a mask, particularly if you're not working in a well-ventilated area. We'll use this hammer because it's a nice example of something that's been pre-loved and neglected. And just give it a gentle squirt. Don't leave it on too long, just enough to loosen the surface and remove that scale. Then with a piece of steel wool, we just give it a gentle rubbing down. It's already starting to move the surface and you can see it starting to clean up the tool. So we'll give it another application. And again, just leave it for a short time and then start working on that surface again. Doesn't matter how vigorously you rub. The main thing is when you're doing this is to always use something like a steel wool and not a sandpaper. Sandpapers will be too abrasive and they'll leave scratches all over the tool and you'll get a lot more rust developing into those areas. And it's looking a lot better already, so let's give it a clean down. So to put a bit of surface protection, we now give it a bit of a shot with a protective lubricant. And again, just wipe that fairly liberally over the surface, but don't brush it too hard that you dry it all off. Just leaves a nice even coating. And now our tool is ready to go back into the shed. Now for a tool that's really got a lot of rust in it and it's really deteriorated, it's probably better to start with the brush and get the worst of it off before we can use the steel wool. So we'll start with our chemical. And then we'll give it a few goes with the brush. You can already see how that's starting to move the surface rust. We'll just give the wipe down now to see how far we've got with it. And you can see it already is a lot better. So we'll give it another go with the chemical and finish off with the steel wool. Again, wipe it all down, wipe the chemical off before we put our protective lubricant onto the surface. And wipe the excess off carefully. And there we are, another chisel ready to use again. It is important to keep your tools clean and rust-free because you'll find they'll work a lot more efficiently when you come to do the job. And basically, if they do get to that situation, that's how we go about cleaning them so you can restore them to new condition.